I'm Tim Hanna, Mayor of Appleton.
And I'm Josh Duclo, and I'm running for mayor to refresh Appleton.
Absolutely. There's a focus on downtown because downtowns are important. They're really the heart of any city, and a city's image is really defined by the heart. If the heart fails, the rest of the city starts to crumble around it. So it's important that we pay attention to downtown. But that doesn't mean that we don't look at other parts of the city. We have tax incremental financing districts in other parts of the city. We have formed those. There are projects going on in other parts of the city. I talk about the old Eagle Plastic site, which is now home to several housing units and town housing units up near Fire Station Number 1. I've long said Wisconsin Avenue is just ripe for some kind of redevelopment. There is a TIF district up there. We are set with trying to help people make an investment. I think if we get some momentum on Wisconsin Avenue, it could have a tremendous impact on those neighborhoods just north and south of Wisconsin Avenue and really help that neighborhood between Wisconsin and downtown become much more vibrant. But certainly there's other parts of the city, the south side, in terms of recreational opportunities, we have talked about that on the south side. It gets a little dicey down there because of the multiple jurisdictions down there and the potential for facilities down there serving more than just people in Appleton. So obviously there's a lot of places around Appleton that we are working in.
I would actually agree that we've seen a lot of progress over the many years, but I still feel like there are a lot of missed opportunities, and I'll just pick one that I've heard a lot of voters tell me about, which is Wisconsin Avenue. And under the current tenure of Mayor Hanna, they've poured millions of dollars of concrete into making the street look really nice on Wisconsin Avenue, and it has not necessarily translated into a thriving business district. And I believe that there are lessons that we can take from downtown Appleton and apply those in the Wisconsin Avenue corridor to build a stronger business district, which will then support more residential options in the surrounding neighborhoods. And beyond tax incremental financing, that includes a business improvement district, which is where businesses band together, pool their resources, and help to develop each other. They'll fund events, maybe it's grants to help support new sign or facade improvement. And they can work together in that way to really define what they want that corridor to be. And then that can help to attract more business. One other strategy that has worked very well in downtown Appleton, and of which I have been a leader, is the creative placemaking effort. And that is something that can apply in Wisconsin Avenue very well. And in fact, my daily commute is up and down Wisconsin Avenue, and I have been eyeing parking lots and undeveloped sites, vacant buildings, etc., that are going to be great spaces to do some community-driven placemaking, which would be another way to bring more pedestrians and more business to that corridor.
I think, those are great ideas, but the city can do so much. And yeah, we did pour concrete on Wisconsin Avenue. Actually, it was a state project, and we partnered with the state on some streetscape activities and made Wisconsin look nice. The city's not in the business of starting businesses. We can set the platform, we can help them, we've done facade improvements, and I just need to remind people, a bid district, business improvement district, is a great idea. It's not something the city puts in place. The businesses have to work together, and they have to vote it in, and they have to vote to tax themselves to fund the bid.
Yeah, the Wisconsin Avenue corridor is one that's ripe for improvement, and a bid is something that's driven by businesses. But business owners have to see a leader that provides a compelling vision, and I think that's what's been lacking, particularly in the last several years. But this is really where a change in leadership is going to make a real difference. The city does not start businesses. The business community itself has to work together to help each other. But the city and the city's leader provides a vision which can draw investment both from existing businesses and new businesses. I think the top priority for city spending is to keep the city affordable for the people who live here already and for those who would like to make their home in Appleton. Due to prudent fiscal management over many years, the city has an outstanding bond rating. But if we're ever going to put that bond rating to use, we need a community-driven process that's going to identify what people can get behind as far as a flagship project where the city can work with partners and make a big impact on the city. I believe very strongly that the library needs to be considered among those top priorities, but really it's the voters and the residents of the city who are going to be the ones that will decide what priorities they have for building projects, and then what appetite they have for additional costs and expenses related to those projects. I think if we can get creative about what a new library looks like and the kinds of services it provides, as well as opportunities for revenue generating partnerships with that project, I think there's really a strong likelihood that the community can get behind that project and it can be transformational in extending our downtown and putting our reach beyond just College Avenue into neighborhoods that haven't had as much attention in the redevelopment. So my priority for spending is to keep the city affordable. I think that's the most important priority, and the voters I've talked to have a concern about the affordability of the city long-term going forward, and that would be my #1 priority, is to make sure that we remain an affordable destination for those who are here as well as those who want to come here.
I'm glad to hear my opponent talk about affordability. Just last year, we were ranked the 5th most affordable city in the country by outside independent source, and I'm really happy about that. We have had good, prudent fiscal management over the years, to the point of we have ridiculously low debt right now, and we have a lot of capacity to be able to talk about projects in a time when many cities can't talk about the kind of projects we're talking about. The library is an important project, and we have work to do. In the debate last year about the library, I didn't hear as much anti-library as I did questions. How am I going to get there? Questions about accessibility and about parking and things like that. And I've said this, if we had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't lead with the library project. I would probably complete the other elements that we're looking at downtown first, and that is the mobility study, which is looking at traffic, pedestrian and bicycle traffic in and out and through downtown, to have a clearer understanding of how we're going to access things downtown. And then we have the implementation of the parking recommendations that we're in the 2nd year of implementations of those changes. So those are a number of changes that are happening downtown. These are good things because we're seeing a huge increase in interest in developing downtown.
The downtown has been a focus for a long time, as well it should be. It is the area of the city that I fell in love with when I first moved here. But I know there are a lot of residents of this city who feel like other parts of the city have been neglected. And I think if we can expand our vision for downtown to include the river, to really put our shoulder to the millstone on getting projects done in that area, to fulfilling a vision, that's going to help to spur development throughout the rest of the city. And then we've got to turn our attention to the other neighborhoods like the South Side, where they need a park, and to other parts of the city where there have been missed opportunities.
I just want to finish up on what I was saying. We are going through a process right now of redoing our downtown plan, of creating that next chapter of downtown, not because the previous plan didn't work, but because we've essentially accomplished all the objectives in that plan. This is the 2nd plan in my tenure that we've essentially accomplished the things that this community came together and said, these are important. We did get them done. So we're in the process of writing that next chapter, and I invite people to pay attention to the process and invite them to participate in creating that expanded vision of downtown and make this an even better place.
You know, I've worked for quite a bit of my career to make the Fox Cities a better atmosphere and a better community for business and for talent. I did that partly here right at the Fox Cities Chamber of Commerce when I helped them launch the Fox Cities Regional Partnership. I got to work very closely with the City of Appleton, city staff, neighboring municipalities, other partner organizations, and the businesses in this community. And so I've heard that voice of business, and I've heard their frustrations with some of the problems with working with City Hall. And it's not just City Hall. There's a lot of things that need to be improved in this area. We need better housing options. We need a more robust, diverse economy so that we can weather the kinds of ups and downs that we know are going to come in the future. But I'm in a position to bring new vision and new energy to the leadership of this city. And that alone is going to change a lot about how our city is viewed. You know, we're a great community. We're on lists all the time telling us how great we are. But it feels like we're complacent in City Hall. It feels like, man, no, it's fine. But I truly believe good enough isn't good enough anymore. And the same thing that got us here isn't going to get us there, where we want to be, to realize our potential and be able to compete with the Austins and the Denvers and the Portlands and the Chicagos and the Twin Cities of the world. We can be the kind of city and region that is attractive to entrepreneurs and businesses and families for generations to come. But it's going to take new leadership. And so I look forward to your vote on April 5th.
The mayor in Appleton is an elected position, but I've never approached it as a political job. I've really approached it more from a business point of view. And there are a number of things that we've instituted that have put us in a position of running the city like a business. Even though our motivation is different, we're not in it for profit, we're in it for service, we've been able to make a lot of progress in terms of being able to put more of our resources towards services and less towards overhead. In the course of 20 years, we have fewer employees that work for the city of Appleton than we did 20 years ago, but we have not significantly reduced services to do that. That's part of affordability. We have kept our overhead low. We have used lean initiatives to be more efficient in the way we deliver services. We've built an accountability system for our employees. We've taught our employees how to be healthier, which has resulted in basically a flat cost for health service for city employees. These are government employees. We've had basically flat costs for health service for over 10 years. I don't know many other organizations that can say that. That's the hard work of being mayor, is creating that kind of culture inside City Hall. We talk about accountability. We have an accountability system that holds people accountable to do the things my opponent says aren't happening. And I have numbers to back that up. We hold them accountable. Actually, today, their compensation depends on their ability to render good customer service, to listen to people, and be responsive. So that's the biggest part of the job of being mayor.